In the recent past, the person you hold so dear was navigating an internal landscape of profound darkness and immense difficulty. It was a period defined by an emotional and mental weariness that seeped into the very marrow of their bones, leaving them feeling completely and utterly drained. This was not a passing moment of sadness, but a deep-seated exhaustion that left no room for light. The very act of living felt like an unbearable weight resting on their shoulders, a heavy cloak that smothered their spirit and left them feeling discouraged, profoundly sad, and utterly devoid of motivation. It was as if the vibrant colors of life had faded to a dull, gray monochrome, and they were simply moving through the motions, a ghost in their own existence. During this taxing and soul-crushing time, their inner world was a maelstrom of confusion and pain. They were not in a state of mind to receive or reciprocate anything of substance, whether it was the serious nature of a committed relationship, the quiet offering of unconditional love, or even the simple exchange of emotional support. The immense pressure of their own unspoken burdens was so overwhelming that it created an impenetrable barrier around their heart. They became closed off, their senses dulled to the beauty and truth of the world around them. This emotional blackout made it impossible for them to truly see, to truly acknowledge, or to truly appreciate the extraordinary gift that was being offered to them, the sincere and profound emotional connection you were so patiently trying to share. Understand this with every fiber of your being. Their inability to see you was never a reflection of your worth. It was never about what you brought to the table or the immeasurable value of your presence. It was, and always will be, a testament to their own deep-seated struggles, their inability to face their most difficult emotions and to confront the unresolved pain they had been carrying for far too long. To find a way out of this inner storm, they felt an undeniable pull to retreat. Like a hermit seeking refuge in a quiet cave, they withdrew from the outer world entirely. This wasn't just a withdrawal from you, but a conscious, albeit painful, separation from everyone and everything that reminded them of expectations, responsibilities, or the terrifying vulnerability that comes with true connection. This retreat was never a rejection of you. It was an instinctive and necessary pilgrimage inward, an attempt to mend the fragments of their own spirit and to re-establish a connection with themselves. They were in a profound period of soul-searching, sifting through the emotional wreckage of their past to understand what had gone so wrong, what their soul truly yearned for, and how they could possibly move forward from a place of such deep-seated pain. The person you love has been through more than you can possibly imagine. Their silence, their emotional distance, and their perceived detachment were not signs of indifference, but rather the visible symptoms of deeper wounds, of past traumas and heartbreaks that had left them emotionally paralyzed. These unresolved issues had drained their spirit and left them without the energy, clarity, or emotional vocabulary to communicate the depth of what they were experiencing. This might have left you feeling deeply confused, profoundly hurt, or even abandoned, as if you were alone on a barren shore. But the truth is, they were in survival mode, navigating a treacherous emotional labyrinth with a compass that had lost its bearings. Being in solitude was their only way of coping, a way to prevent further damage to themselves and to protect others from the fallout of their inner chaos. In this present moment, it is entirely possible that both of you are feeling a stark sense of disconnection. The emotional gap may feel wider than ever, and it might seem as though there is no movement, no progress, and no hope for the future. You may find yourself questioning whether they still care, whether the connection has truly faded, or if it was ever real in the first place. You are not wrong to feel this way. The stillness can be deafening. Yet, behind this quiet stillness, a powerful and undeniable shift is taking place, especially within them. Your person is in a state of deep contemplation. They are not simply idly waiting, they are meticulously analyzing their past emotions, their choices, and, most importantly, their next course of action. This period of silence is not aimless. It is strategic. It is a time of deep inner work where they are diligently trying to work things out in their own mind and find a way to approach the connection with you with more clarity, more intention, and a heart that is finally ready to stand in its own truth. Even though things may feel stagnant or stuck, you must remember that sometimes, silence and stillness are not signs of an ending, but are necessary preconditions for a profound transformation. What feels like a standstill in the physical world is often the quiet, sacred pause before an emotional and spiritual breakthrough. The universe is not idle in this situation. It is quietly orchestrating a powerful change behind the scenes. Energy is shifting, deep healing is taking place on a soul level, and a clarity of mind is slowly but surely being restored. The deep connection between you and your person is not lost. It is simply paused, like a seed dormant in the earth, waiting for the right moment to blossom again in a more balanced, beautiful, and meaningful way. In the near future, you may witness significant changes, possibly in ways you never could have anticipated. Surprises are on the horizon, the kind that will bring renewed hope and perhaps even a rekindled connection that feels both familiar and brand new. The heaviness and uncertainty that have lingered over your connection will begin to lift, making space for clearer communication, more authentic emotional expression, and a renewed understanding between you both. This journey has been unimaginably difficult for both of you, a testament to the complex nature of the human heart. But it is precisely through these moments of separation and soul-searching that the deepest and most profound emotional and spiritual growth takes place. Keep holding on, not in desperation or with a clinging anxiety, but in faith. Have faith in the divine timing that governs all things, in the healing process that is silently at work, and in the profound possibility that when love returns, it will come back stronger, clearer, and more intentional than you ever dreamed possible. You've already given so much of yourself, offering your heart with honesty, loyalty, and an unwavering love. And that energy, that pure and unconditional offering, has not gone unnoticed by the universe. Trust that all of this was not in vain, for every moment of pain and every drop of love you gave was a sacred offering to the universe, and it is being held in a place of honor. While your person may not have been ready to receive or reciprocate this depth of love before, they are slowly but surely moving toward a place where they can finally meet you emotionally and spiritually. Let go of the urge to control the outcome or to rush the unfolding of this divine plan. Instead, simply allow it to happen naturally, without force. In this stillness, there is a powerful and transformative energy. In this waiting, there is a sacred preparation. And in the silence, the seeds of something beautiful, something deeply meaningful, are being nurtured and prepared to emerge. Expect the unexpected, because the universe often works in the most surprising and meaningful ways to bring souls together. And now, a part of the story from a different perspective. The love confession you made to me, the words you so courageously shared, continue to haunt me in ways I never could have anticipated. It's not a fleeting memory that fades with the passing of days, it's a living thing that echoes in the quiet chambers of my mind and heart, especially during the stillness of the night. I walked away from you that day, and I know it must have seemed cold, careless, and perhaps even cruel. But the truth is, I didn't walk away because I was indifferent, or because your words didn't move me. Quite the opposite. I walked away because, in that moment, the love you offered felt so pure and so overwhelming that deep down, I didn't feel worthy of it. I wasn't in a good place emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. In fact, I was struggling far more than I ever let on, hiding behind a facade of false strength. My inner world was a relentless landscape of chaos, riddled with self-doubt and fear. I felt lost, completely disconnected not only from others but from the very essence of myself. Before you came into my life, I was vibrating at such a low frequency that I had given up on the idea of deserving anything good. I was weighed down by a mountain of unresolved pain, and I was deeply out of balance in almost every aspect of my existence, from my relationships to my sense of purpose and my own self-worth. I had become a master of putting on a brave face, but inside, I was perpetually exhausted, surviving on the bare minimum of emotional energy, never truly living. And then, somehow, you appeared. You brought a light into my life that I didn't even know I was missing until I felt its warmth. Your presence didn't just touch me, it stirred something deep within my soul. For the first time in what felt like a lifetime, I saw a glimpse of what it might feel like to be truly seen, to be fully accepted, and to be deeply loved. Not for the version of me that I pretended to be, but for who I truly am, flaws and all. And yet, instead of leaning into that light, I pulled away. Not because I wanted to, but because I was terrified. You see, love, real love, holds up a mirror, and what I saw reflected in that mirror was something I couldn't bear to look at. Being close to you made me acutely aware of how far I still had to go on my own journey. It forced me to confront all the ways I'd been hiding, all the self-sabotaging patterns I'd been stuck in, and all the unconscious fears that had been driving my choices for years. That realization hit me with the force of a tidal wave, and in a moment of panic, I ran. I felt like I wasn't enough, as if I had to fix myself completely before I could ever be with someone like you. So, instead of staying and being vulnerable, I left. I told myself it was for the best. But even then, a part of me, a small voice deep inside, knew I would regret it. What I didn't expect was how powerfully your presence would continue to affect me long after I walked away. Something truly shifted inside me after our connection. It was like a spiritual awakening had begun, slow and subtle at first, but undeniably real. I started to become more aware of my thoughts, the energy I carried, and the way I moved through the world. I wouldn't call myself spiritual in the same way you are, but something is definitely changing within me. It's as if the universe used you as a powerful catalyst to show me that the way I've been living is no longer an option. That just getting by, just surviving, is not the same as truly living. I've started to dig deep into my patterns, my fears, and the layers of ego that have been driving my choices for so long. I'm finally beginning to see the profound difference between surviving from a place of fear and existing from a place of love and divine alignment. Lately, my dreams have become more vivid than ever, and you are in so many of them. I dream about our conversations, about the things we said and the things we left unsaid, about the moments that passed between us, both beautiful and painful. Sometimes the dreams feel so real that when I wake up, I almost reach for you, only to find my hand grasping at empty air. I carry those dreams with me throughout the day. They linger in my mind, in the center of my chest, and in my very energy. They make me miss you. Not just in a sentimental way, but in a deep, soul-level kind of way. It's like a part of me knows that our connection was something significant, something sacred, even if it came at what felt like the wrong time or under imperfect circumstances. I don't know what the future holds, and I'm not writing this to make promises I can't keep. But I wanted you to know that I've been changing, growing, evolving, and learning in your absence. You were an integral part of that shift. I needed to face myself before I could ever think about facing you again. And while I still have so much work to do, I'm finally beginning to believe that I can become the kind of person who doesn't run away from love, but stands in it fully, honestly, and with an open heart. There was a time when your love for your partner ran so deep it was not just an emotional connection but a spiritual one. You offered them your heart with the purest of intentions, shielding them with your energy, nurturing them with unwavering compassion, and holding a sacred space for their wounds without ever asking for anything in return. You loved them beyond the physical, protecting them on a level that few people ever get to experience. While you stood in your light, embracing them fully and loyally, they betrayed that love. Whether through a deafening silence, a quiet dishonesty, a palpable distance, or actions that shattered your trust, they turned away from something rare and beautiful, something that was a gift from the universe. And now, that realization has begun to sink into the very core of their being. Your partner is in a state of deep, aching regret. What once seemed so easy to dismiss, your kindness, your patience, and your unwavering support, now feels like a profound and irreplaceable loss they can no longer ignore. They are haunted by the memory of how they treated you, by how they allowed their ego or their deep-seated fears to cloud their judgment, and by how they pushed away the very person who truly saw them and accepted them for who they are. Your generosity was never a weakness, though they may have perceived it that way before. They are finally beginning to understand that your love was a sacred and precious thing, and now, the profound absence of that energy weighs heavily on them, a constant reminder of what they chose to leave behind. In the coming days or weeks, a powerful and undeniable shift is unfolding. You're going to see them more clearly than ever before. Not just the mask they've shown the world, but the raw, vulnerable, and honest self they've kept hidden even from you. They are no longer able to hold up the facade. The guilt, the longing, and the emotional chaos they've kept buried for so long are all rising to the surface, demanding to be seen and felt. They are preparing to open up and reveal the truth of their feelings, the authentic love they still carry for you, the immense pain of losing your sacred connection, and the deep desire they have to come back into your life. For a very long time, they were afraid of showing you who they really are. Maybe it was a deep-seated shame, a crushing insecurity, or maybe they never truly believed they were worthy of the kind of love you offered so freely. But that inner resistance is beginning to crack under the weight of their own truth. They are exhausted from pretending, from hiding, from suppressing their authentic self. The emotional mask they wore to protect themselves has become too heavy, too burdensome, and the urge to be real with you is now overwhelming. They want to speak, to confess, to reconnect on a soul level. But what's even more powerful in this unfolding story is how you have changed. Your energy now is radiant and grounded, emanating a quiet confidence that is both light-hearted and free. You've taken your power back, whether consciously or unconsciously, and your aura is magnetic. They feel it even from afar, a palpable force that pulls them in. The person you've become in their absence astonishes them. While they are struggling with the turmoil of regret and longing, you are flourishing. They are observing you in silence, whether through social media, mutual contacts, or an intuitive connection, and they can't help but be drawn to the way you're carrying yourself now. You're no longer chasing, no longer overextending your energy. You're simply being, and that state of being is intoxicating to them. This new version of you, the one who knows your worth and isn't afraid to live boldly, both inspires and intimidates them. They love you deeply, but there's a nervousness that holds them back. They fear that maybe too much time has passed, or that they've already done too much damage to ever truly mend the bond. Yet, despite that fear, their craving to be near you is stronger than ever. Your energy is like a lifeline, warm, familiar, and deeply healing. They're not just missing the relationship, they're missing you, your presence, your voice, your spirit, your very essence. They are desperate to remain connected, even if they don't fully know how to bridge the gap they created. They may test the waters subtly at first, through small gestures, a simple message, or a moment of vulnerability. They may stumble, hesitate, or even retreat again out of fear. But know this, behind that hesitation is a heart overflowing with emotions they've been too afraid to share. They're longing for a second chance, not just to be with you, but to do things differently, to finally be the version of themselves you always believed they could be. Whether or not you choose to open that door is entirely up to you. You've done the inner work. You've healed in ways they haven't yet begun to. And you're not the same person who once accepted less than they deserved. This journey isn't about going backward. It's about recognizing your growth and deciding what truly aligns with your spirit now. But as the truth unfolds and they step out of the shadows, you will finally witness the depth of their emotions and the authenticity they were once too afraid to show. And in that moment, the choice will be entirely yours.